Si usted no habla inglés, debe estudiar al servir como misionero, ya que será para usted una bendición en su misión y en el resto de su vida. El aprendizaje del inglés le permitirá ayudar a edificar el reino del Señor de formas adicionales y será una bendición para usted y para su familia. Memorice el vocabulario y use tarjetas de memorización durante todo el día para recordar lo que memorizó con su compañero.
Right, we're in EnglishConnect 2, and I have it all here, EnglishConnect 2, Unit 3, Lesson 10.2. Even though it doesn't say point 2, what do you do every day is a hyperlink, and we designate it as point 2 in Lesson 10 of Unit 3. What do you do every day? Let's go ahead and open it up. All right. Go ahead and apparently they're talking about they all eat together as a family or as a bunch of friends because those are young people. Those are young people. Go ahead. Young people. Okay, conversation. Touch it. Let's see if they're working. We'll probably walk through this.
Victor, tell me what you do every day.
I usually get up at 7 o'clock, and then I always go to work at 8 o'clock. Sometimes I go out with friends after work.
You
Okay.
sound busy.
You probably remember that this conversation was in some of the prior classes that we had. But go ahead and punch again. Let's advance. Hit any one of these. Let's make sure they're working. But every one of these is a small segment. Every one is a small segment. They're letting you rehearse. Okay? Okay, we're going to read this one to you. Victor, tell me what you do every day. I usually get up at 7 o'clock, and then I always go to work at 8 o'clock. Sometimes I go out with friends after work. You sound busy. When do you go shopping? I only go about once a month. Now, this was in the conversation, a girl talking to a guy. He only goes once a month. She probably goes several times a month. Go ahead. What do you do every day? Let's read all the words. Write the missing words. Once a month, sometimes, busy, every, usually, always, and when. And let me tell you this. I've looked at some of the tests on how they test you for your ability to remember and see application on how these words are used in a sentence. It'll be a conversation. So you really need to know sometimes, every, busy, usually, always. What's the difference between them? Okay? Tell me what you do every day. We're not going to do these. We're not going to write them in. We're just going to go ahead and walk through them real quick. Oh, we do. We have to. Whenever you see that blue pick up and the arrow down at the bottom, that means you have to complete. Let's go ahead and do it. Tell me what you do every day. I usually get up at 7 o'clock. Then I always go to work. Whoops, she's all crazy now. Take all that out of there. Usually. Always. I like that, always. I always go to work at 8 o'clock. That's a good interview type statement. Sometimes, with a capital S, I go out with friends after work, which is the picture we just saw. The picture we just saw was him out with his friends after work, we assume. Write the missing words. You sound busy. Let's see, when do you go shopping? And we're looking for that. Point up to the capital W, capital S. W there, and capital S on sometimes. So we knew it was one of the capital words, and we got it, I think. I only go about once a month. Once a month. Pat, push it on. Oh, we don't have a period on that? Mm-hmm. Answer the question about the conversation. Let's go ahead and write that, answer the question about the conversation. Show them what I'm reading up there. What do you do every day? Answer the questions about the conversation. So here's a bunch of questions. Because of that S, we know that there's questions. What does Victor do at 8 a.m.? Well, he said he always goes to work. How often does Victor go out with friends? Let's read them. He sometimes goes out with friends after work. He usually goes out with friends on the weekend. He goes out with friends once a month. Well, we know it's number one. He sometimes goes out with friends after work. How often does Victor go shopping? This is kind of like me. He goes shopping on the weekend. He sometimes goes shopping after work. He goes shopping once a month. There you go. Apparently, Victor lives alone. That would be why. If he had a family, he'd have to go shopping more often than that. Okay, this is a study chart. A lot, not at all. Okay, what they're trying to show you is as that bar graduates, it's a stronger statement. Okay, always and never are both they're at the extremes, and they are very certain. I always and I never. It's probably a good idea never to say never, almost never maybe. Usually and sometimes fall in between those words. So we're going to just always, usually, sometimes, never. And note here, when you're writing, see the word a lot? A lot is used and pronounced as a word. Most people say, how often do you do it? I do it a lot. I do it a lot. So when you write it, you want to make sure that you write it a lot. Okay?
2 words.
It's 2 words. That was my wife. Are you over there, honey?
I'm here.
Okay, go. Order of frequency. Put the sentences in order of frequency, 1 being most frequent, 3 being less frequent. Always and never. There you go. You're always, that's most frequent. Never is least frequent. Usually and sometimes it happens. Okay? Let's see how we can go through this. Example, I never go to the movie theater. I always watch movies on my phone. I sometimes watch movies with my family. I'm going to go with number 3 is I sometimes.
Put the sentences in order of frequency.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I never go to the thing. I never go to the movie theater. I sometimes.
This is most frequent.
That's most frequent. That's
less frequent and least frequent.
There you go. Okay, let's see if we can do that. Here it is. Number 1. Okay. I usually eat lunch at work. I sometimes eat lunch at work. And I always eat lunch at work. Usually and sometimes.
So always
is the
most
top.
frequent.
Yeah, that'd be 1. Oh, you're moving them. Okay, I see it. I usually and I sometimes. I think that's the way they had it. I think usually sometimes kind of the same thing. But you're right. I think it's okay. You'll be fine. They're saying usually is more. Okay. I always, most frequent, least frequent. Most frequent is I always go to church on Sundays. That's 1. I never go out with my friends on Sunday. Yeah, that'd be the last one. Sometimes. There you go. That's good. Okay, so it's I always go to church on Sundays. I sometimes visit my cousins on Sundays, and I never go out with friends on Sundays. And where should you be? What should it be? I always go to church on Sundays. Go ahead. Okay, this one is most frequent, least frequent. Scroll up a little bit for me. I sometimes, never, and you. Okay, we always know that sometimes is less than usually. So sometimes it's 3, never is 1. No. I did it backwards, didn't I? 1
I usually have breakfast on Sundays is most frequent
of these 3, yeah.
of these 3.
If it said I always, that would be number 1. Okay, I never have breakfast during the week. There we go. Wow, never had breakfast during the week. Okay, again, we're looking at specifically usually, never, and sometimes. So when never, It's not even, there's no always. Most frequent. Most frequent is not here. So we're going to usually sometimes, that's it. You got it. That's perfect. I usually go to work at 8 a.m. I sometimes stay at work until 7:30 p.m. I never leave work before 4 p.m. Okay? Got a pretty important job, apparently. Most frequent, always eat dinner. So usually is always above, sometimes, okay? I usually cook dinner, I sometimes is almost, it's next to never, okay? That looks pretty good food there. And this is gonna be the same thing. I'm gonna read through these. I'm just gonna read through them. I, you, we, they, she, and he, okay? So now I'm gonna go right to the right. I always go shopping on Thursdays. You usually go shopping on Thursdays. We sometimes go shopping on Thursdays, and they never go shopping on Thursdays. And then he always goes shopping on Thursdays. She usually goes shopping on Thursdays. He sometimes goes shopping on Thursdays, and he never goes shopping on Thursdays. Okay? That's an activity. Read each description, answer the question aloud, use frequency words. We won't spend a lot of time on this one. This is the one that you can listen to, but I will say it. Example, Yaya works during the week. On Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, Yaya goes to work at 7 a.m. On some days, she goes to work at 10 a.m. All right. How do you say Yaya in Spanish? Yaya. How do you say that?
I don't know.
When does Yaya go to work? Well, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Yaya goes to work at 7 a.m. They just have different times. Go ahead and touch it. Let's just hear what they're saying.
Yaya usually goes to work at 7 a.m. She sometimes goes to work at 10 a.m.
Okay. So she gets there pretty early. All right. Read each description, answer the question aloud, use frequency words. Yaya wakes up at 5:30 every day. She exercises after she wakes up. This is before she goes to school, goes to work. So she's up 5:30. She's up there exercising. Pretty bright for that time to be. What does she do in the morning? Well, she exercises. We don't need to do this one. Go ahead.
She always wakes up at 5:30.
Okay. Each morning, Yaya gets dressed and brushes her teeth. She doesn't have time to have breakfast during the week. Because she has to get to work by 7. That's hard. When does Yaya have breakfast during the week? Only on the weekends. Okay? Example.
Yaya never has breakfast.
During the week. Okay. Yaya doesn't have a car, so she takes the bus to work each day. You know, a lot of people don't have a car because they don't know how to fix them. They can't afford them a lot of times too, but it's hard to fix them sometimes. How does Yaya get to work on a bus? Let's go ahead. We don't need to listen to it, honey. It's okay.
We're using frequency words.
Yeah.
She always takes the bus.
Oh, is that what you wanted to hear?
Well, no, that's what they're asking you to use. Frequency words.
Okay. Okay, when Yaya gets home, she takes a shower before going to bed. Some nights, sometimes, she watches TV. What does Yaya do when she gets home? Sometimes she watches TV.
She always takes a shower. Sometimes she watches TV.
That's correct. Thank you for keeping me online.
You're welcome.
Okay. Think about, what do you do on the weekends? Think about what you do on the weekends. Read each question and write a sentence in response. What do you always do on Friday? I always wake up in the morning. Okay? That's it. Go to the next one. Jeez. Okay, there you go.
We're at 15 minutes.
I know, I'm trying to wrap this up, but it looks like we're going to have to quit in the middle of it.
We've got 5 more, though, so let's just end it at
Just
5.
end it right here. End it right here. We're done. We're fine.
Puede asistir a cualquiera de estas instituciones en línea, BYU Idaho o Ensign College, después de completar el programa EnglishConnect, a través de BYU Paswa Worldwide Paswa a precios reducidos tanto para miembros de la Iglesia como para amigos de la Iglesia.